feel like I have to back up this camera a little bit so it's not just the top of Edward's head peeking out. Hold on. So let me scoot back, maybe that's it. So you can see him. I am sorry for all the noise the dogs will probably make while I'm filming this video. I'm filming in a different spot. I'm trying this out. I just didn't feel like setting up and like filming, but I want to get a video out. I think I need to stop focusing on everything being so perfect. Anyway, let's just get into the video and not just me yammering on about. Let's do a one take wrap up for the month of July. Before I start, I want to hear your thoughts. If anyone watches this video or has any thoughts, do you like monthly wrap ups? I'm kind of thinking of switching them to seasonal. So like just doing a wrap up on each season or each like quarter. That's where I'm at right now, but let me know what you think. For now, let's talk about what I read in July. So to start off, I read The Other Bennett Sister by Janice Hadlow. I loved this book. I loved the TV show. I watched the TV show first and fell in love with the story. I don't remember if I finished the TV show or if I finished the show first. Or I mean the book. I don't remember. I think I finished the show first. But I adored this world and these characters, the spin that it had on the original Pride and Prejudice. So this follows Mary Bennett. And part of it is like the actress that played her is from College Wife and just someone that I already loved so much. And she just played the character so beautifully. The whole story was just so good. I loved the romance and then like also the drama with like the different potential love interests. The whole like hike scene and all of that was amazing. Inspired me to read some like romanticism poetry from that time. Yeah, I just loved it. An amazing book, an amazing read. And one I honestly could see myself like revisiting. Next, I read volume 5 of Heartstopper as a reread. I didn't do a whole reread of this series, but Heartstopper Forever, which is the movie to conclude the series, came out. It was so good. So I did a reread of volume 5 so that I could then read volume 6, the finale of the book series, of the graphic novel series. It was amazing. It broke my heart to say goodbye to these characters, but it really was a beautiful ending for these characters, and I really, really enjoyed it. I will always love these characters so much. There's just so much like heart and love to these stories and just a beautiful, beautiful storytelling aspect to them. I just adore it. Next, I read Artemis by Andy Weir. I did enjoy this book, not half as much as Project Hail Mary. Project Hail Mary is genuinely like top 5 favorite books of all time for me now. I've read it twice. But Artemis was good. Do you think the dogs will stop? They're playing really loudly. Artemis was good, and I loved the humor in it, and I loved the concept of like a civilization or like a small town city on the moon. I thought it was really, really interesting. But it just didn't hit the same. It didn't have that same like hopeful narrative that Project Hail Mary has. So I did miss that a little bit, but I did still really enjoy it, and it had interesting characters. They grew on me as the story went on, but I did really like it. So next, I did some more rereads. I read Twilight and New Moon. So I reread these because I went to Forks, Washington. When I'm uploading this, that video will already be up. So go ahead and go check that out. It is my favorite thing I've ever done. The trip was amazing. We went to Forks, we went along the coast of Washington, hit some of the filming spots in Oregon, and then we're in Portland for other stuff. It was amazing. It was amazing. I loved it, and I genuinely already want to go back. The people in Forks were so nice. The love for Twilight was amazing. It was just amazing. Go check out, I have an Instagram post on it, and I have the whole like hour-long vlog or something that I uploaded already. So go check it out. It was a great time. I'm at a point in my life where I'm not like, it's not just nostalgia for me anymore for Twilight. Like, it is nostalgia, but like genuinely I think it's incredible storytelling. So big fan of that. Next, I read North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. Now this took me a long time to read, like a long time, because it's like 600 or 700 pages, I think. This is a classic from, I want to say, the mid 1800s, about kind of the industrialization era of England. She lived in the South where there was farmland, a lot of like richer people. And then she'd also lived in London, and her father has a crisis of faith, and leaves the church because he was a pastor. I don't know what they're called. And they move up north to a factory town, and her experience over the couple of years, I believe that this book spans, her experience facing poverty for the first time, facing like people of different class, like working classes, and how that like informs how they act and the choices that they make. Her experience like witnessing unions, and like this is pretty early on, I think, with like the origin of unions. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a history major, okay? But it was just really, really good. And I've seen people call it a socialist Pride and Prejudice. I think that's actually pretty accurate. I really enjoyed it. I've now watched the BBC show as well that they made a while ago. I think that it deserves an updated adaptation. I think it could be such a good, like, historical, like, if they kept close to the book, adaptation. Granted, there's a lot. This is a long book. And I actually found out, one fun fact, Charles Dickens was one of the editors, and he didn't much like the book, but it was published serially, how do you say that word? Serially, in magazines, I believe. And she was paid per page, and that's part of why the book was so long. But you know what? You go, girl, and she was so inspired by the Bronte sisters, which I kind of feel in the tone. This is a sad book. This is a sad book, let me be clear. A lot of sad things happen. It's not like Jane Austen. I'd argue there's not a lot of big sad moments in Jane Austen's books, at least in the big ones. This is almost all sad moments, but they're written so well, and the character has such resilience, and even when she's like facing her deepest, darkest moments, like, and she knows that she is, like, she's like, this is rock bottom, there's just this like heart to the character. Like, they felt so real. And throughout this entire story, like, there was a couple of times I had to like look up notes to keep track of like the different characters' names, because there was quite a few characters. It didn't feel like reading a historical, like, it didn't feel like reading a classic. Like, it was very like easy to read in that way, and I really enjoyed it. I really want to get like a classics, like a Penguins Classic Edition or something like that, because it's easily become one of my favorite classics. Like, Pride and Prejudice is always going to be number one, especially in this era of writing, but I really, really loved it. Next, I read some Wordsworth poems, like I was talking about the other Bennett sister. I really loved this. I think he's amazing. I want to read more of this era of poetry. I actually got a collection of like this era of poetry. I really enjoyed it. I thought his writing was beautiful, and I would love to explore the meaning of them more. I think I only kind of touched the surface with a lot of these poems, but I loved it. And then lastly, I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. This was a reread, but this was my book club book of the month. I really enjoyed this book. I liked it better the second time, actually. I really liked the chronic illness representation. And then the romance was just so like fun to read, and I really liked these characters and their chemistry. I thought the communication breakdown in the end, I was like, okay, not my favorite third act breakup, but also very realistic. So I did end up really enjoying it. And like I said, I rated it higher the second time than the first time I read this book, because I read this book when I was just getting into romance, and I feel like I have a much more, like, I know more about what I like now. And having read this again, I liked it better the second time. I enjoyed these characters. I thought it was a really fun read. And I definitely want to I want to try Talia Hibbert's other books again. my camera battery died and I'm not finding another one right now because I'm like 1 second away from being done with this video, so we're just gonna go with it. I was just gonna say I want to read more of Talia Hibbert's other books to see if I like them more than the first time I read them, or if I just find some other favorites and ones I haven't read yet. But anyway, those are all the books I read in July. I hope you enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.